President inaugurates 10,000 Neela Haritha Villages program in Kegel.
National Movement for a Just Society urges not to delay the appointment of the Governor of the Central Bank.
මහ බැංකුව අරාජික තත්ත්වයට පත් නොකොට වහාම අගමැතිවරයා සහ ජනාධිපතිවරයා අද දවස තුල තීන්දුවක් ගත යුතුයි.
MP Uday Gammantila granted bail.
Those displaced by the Aranayaka landslide continue to remain in relief camps. Artists protest against the state drama festival.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Sheikh Silva.
And I am Dasmia Falda. Let's start off with a look at your local stories.
Commercial.
The national event to mark the commencement of the construction of 10,000 Neela Haritha villages was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The event was held at the Sanas Education Campus in Paragamana, Kegel.
A total of 10,000 eco-friendly villages are to be constructed around the island under the Neela Haritha Lanka program. At the last climate change summit held in Paris, a decision was arrived upon by world leaders at the summit to restrict the increase in global temperatures to below 2 degrees Celsius. Based on the decision which was arrived at the summit, the creation of these 10,000 eco-friendly villages stands out in the contribution of curtailing the rise of global warming.
Just as we generate what is needed for our survival, we in turn engage in the process of destroying the natural habitat. We are constructing these eco-friendly villages across the island with the hope of conserving these natural habitats for future generations and to strengthen the livelihoods of the people. This project has been launched with the aim of uplifting the engagement the public have with nature and to live in beautiful surroundings. I respectfully urge the entire nation to accept the Neela Haritha Lanka program and to join hands with us and to consider this a project as a national responsibility and a project for the future generation of our country.
Meanwhile, a cheque was presented to the wife of an officer of the Sanas Education Campus who passed away in the Aranayaka landslide as compensation by the President.
Professor Sarath Vijayasuriya, the convener of the National Movement for a Just Society, has called for the President and the Prime Minister to reach a decision on appointing a new governor for the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and not allow the CBSL to fall into a state of anarchy.
Professor Sarath Vijayasuriya was speaking at a media briefing convened by the National Movement for a Just Society.
අර්ජුන මහේන්ද්‍රන් මහතාට දන්වා සිටිනවා.
We called on Arjuna Mahendran not to act in a manner that could jeopardize the government that was elected by the law-abiding citizens. We make a request from the President respectfully to be sensitive to this matter because the whole nation is against Arjuna Mahendran. You cannot take the country forward by having the whole nation on one pan of the scale and Arjuna Mahendran on the other pan of the scale. The credibility of Arjuna Mahendran has been gravely tainted. You cannot say that he is not guilty. The only thing that has not happened is that a legal institution is yet to announce that he is guilty. The investigations have claimed that he is guilty. This is an issue about the country and the future of the country. Therefore, rather than taking the central bank to a state of anarchy, we assert that the President and the Prime Minister take a decision during the course of the day.
තීන්දුවක් ගත යුතුයි කියන එක අපි අවධාරණයෙන් පවසා සිටිනවා.
අගමැතිතුමා ඊයේ ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තියෙන
When you look at the statement made by the Prime Minister yesterday, it is clear as to how far the joke has gone. The Prime Minister says that Arjun Mahendran has not been proven guilty. He says that Mahendran is innocent until proven guilty. We are aware how the judicial process works. However, individuals such as Basil Rajapaksa, Uday Gammanpilla and even Sajin Divasgunawardena have been arrested. Were they arrested after proving their wrongs? You arrest one after proving the wrong and not arrest and then prove the wrong. It can be understood that when the Prime Minister is making such statements, it is being done in a biased manner to protect one individual. What needs to be done is to save the central bank from the clutches of politics. If the central bank is going to become the mallet of a political party, then it is the same process that was undertaken by Kabul during the time of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Therefore, we urge the President and the Prime Minister to delve deep into this matter.
Partali Champika Ranavaka, the Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, attended an event at the Thumbavila Sri Sardarama Temple in Piliyandala today.
Land for cultivation purposes only were presented by the minister to landowners who lost their lands to the various Ganga stormwater drainage project. 800 acres of land had been reclaimed for this project, while 300 persons were presented with ownership papers today.
Just because one wears a red shirt, it does not mean that they stand for social justice, nor do they work for it. Leader of the JVP, Anukumar Disanayaka, brought a motion to Parliament citing that the Veras Ganga project is a disaster and that it needs to be stopped. There are some land engineers who claim that they know how to control the water levels and how to control the floods. Some even held speeches. If not for this project, over 100,000 houses in Nugegoda, Bodlaskamu and Bokundara would have been destroyed by the floods. Some sacrifices have to be made when there is development taking place.
The Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government expressed the following at a media briefing in Colombo today.
We will not allow for the operations of these 23 local government bodies to be hampered. In addition, we hope to hold the elections as soon as possible. Municipal councils will come under the purview of commissioners until the next elections is held. Similarly, the urban council and Pradesh Sabha would come under the purview of the secretary of the respective local government body. I state this with responsibility on behalf of my ministry and all the local government bodies. We are committed towards the efficient flow of work of these local government bodies. Take the Kodikavatta and Mulleriya areas. We are also aware that those areas were badly affected by the floods. We set up a special operations center and removed around 7,000 tons of waste. Following the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, the government cannot be dissolved after 1 year has passed. The tenure of 17 municipal councils, 1 urban council and 5 Pradesh Sabhas expired at midnight yesterday.
Another phase of the Samata Savana housing loan program took place in Trincomalee under the auspices of Minister Sajith Premadasa.
112 million rupees were presented as loans to 650 families during the event which took place at the Trincomalee town.
I have witnessed the housing issue of the people. Why wasn't the housing issue in the country resolved in the past? Earlier they boasted of the miracles, but what actually took place was the most corrupt era in the history of this country. It was an era when the captains of thieves ruled the country. We always say, country before self. However, what took place in the past was the royal family before the country. Family corporations came before the country. We had Mr. 10%, 20% and 30% in the past. Those who were involved are trying to do more of what they did before. Keep in mind that you cannot shake the government for the next 5 to 6 years.
Leader of the Pivithuruhela Urumaya and parliamentarian Udaya Gammanpila was released on bail by Fort Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna today. He was released on a cash bail of 25,000 rupees and 3 sureties of 500,000 rupees each.
The magistrate also granted bail to Sydney Jasing on a cash bail of 15,000 rupees and 2 sureties of 500,000 rupees each. Both Gammanpila and Jasing were barred from travelling overseas. Parliamentarian Udaya Gammanpila was arrested and remanded for allegedly selling shares worth 41 million rupees owned by a foreign national by using a fraudulent power of attorney. The police attempted to send me back to jail today as well. The magistrate listened to the facts that were put forward by the attorneys and granted bail under strict conditions. If someone thinks that they can imprison us, that is only a dream. We will recommence our battle from today.
Teachers attached to the Megahatana Primary School in Matugama engaged in a trade union action by going on sick leave. The trade union action was launched in protest against an incident where Deputy Minister Palithathera Peruma stormed into a school with a group of individuals and assaulted the principal.
According to the police, the Deputy Minister unlawfully entered the Megahatana Primary School in Matugama and added that the law will be enacted in this regard. Western Provincial Councillors representing the Kalutara districts have convened a media briefing in Bandaragama today.
The Deputy Minister of Cultural Affairs representing the Government of Good Governance has entered the Principal's office and held him from the neck. To save himself from this, he had tied a bedsheet to the fan and attempted to hang himself, subsequently falling unconscious. We need to ask the United National Party why such persons are appointed and allowed to act in this manner. We recall when Northwestern Provincial Councillor Anand Sarat Kumara visited the school and said something to a teacher and made her kneel thereafter. His entire political career was destroyed. Then the Puruvasi Balaya, the National Movement for a Just Society, the university teachers and everyone stepped out to the streets and targeted that politician. Today this situation is 10,000 times worse, and such a situation took place in the Kaluthura district yesterday. A deputy minister of this government is attempting to impose the law of the jungle in the Kaluthura district. If students cannot be enrolled legally, it means that they cannot be enrolled. But a member of the United National Party had gone to the school. When this UNPer was engaged in the fast, not a single UNP member came to see him. The United National Party has accepted that this act was wrong.
Another group of artists engaged in a creative demonstration in line with the State Drama Awards that commenced today.
A number of artists were present for the protest in line with the State Drama Awards that commenced at the Western Province Cultural Centre today. The protest was held as a mark of dissent to the insufficient state support provided for this year's State Drama Awards. Although it was reported that the award ceremony was to be held under the auspices of the Minister of Education, Akhila Viraj Karyavasam, the minister did not attend the function. Even though the ceremony got underway, objections were raised throughout the event.
TV1 News First, main sponsor.
Welcome back to the news. Through the News First Think Again public service initiative, it has been deduced that those elected to office have not understood the aspirations and expectations of their constituents.
Think Again. Is your vote working for you?
The Think Again public service initiative, which brings forward the issues faced by the voters before the nation, took place centering the Ratnapura, Gaul and Batticaloa districts today. Although 1.9 million rupees had been allocated for the construction of a computer laboratory at the Pallekanda Mahavidyalaya in Balangoda, the only time the students see a computer is via television. The parents allege that rather than constructing the computer laboratory, what authorities had done was renovate a school building. The computer-less computer laboratory is now a classroom. The same fate had befallen the staff room of the school. Despite 1.3 million rupees being allocated for renovations, the roof of this staff room is in a dilapidated state.
We have to stone those who contest for the upcoming polls. They came for our votes. Since then, they never cited our district. They only deceive us and obtain our votes.
If they come seeking our votes, we will pelt them with stones. This village will not vote for anyone. On the second, my daughter-in-law came with her child. She said that an elephant was in the garden. My husband stepped out with an elephant flare. He was killed by the elephant near the school.
The News First Think Again team came across this widow in Mulgama. 8 months ago, she lost her husband to a wild elephant attack.
They have done nothing. After my husband's demise, they said they will give lands and construct houses. Nothing has been fulfilled.
After she lost her husband to wild elephant, the village also lost a school because of the threat of wild elephants. Mulgama is simply limited to its name as the locals have abandoned the village. Locals say that despite promises being made to construct an electric fence, authorities have turned a blind eye to the village.
They only brawl amongst each other. I will do a better job if I was given that duty.
They said they will construct an electric fence. A life was claimed. If they erect the fence, they will receive our vote. If not, we will not vote for them. They have not done anything for this village. We are helpless.
People in Akminmana Gaul are facing a myriad of issues due to improper waste management by the Pradesh Sabha. They allege that the Pradesh Sabha had stopped collecting garbage, citing that there is no site to dispose the garbage.
The parliament is a joke. They made several promises. Nothing has been fulfilled. This is a big joke. There is no one to take up the leadership. They are only here to obtain our votes.
The locals in Hikkaduwa, Wakkama, Pinkamda, Sirikaduwa, the tsunami village, Habaraduwa, Ahangama, Akkarabissa and Pusevia share their thoughts on broken political promises. The Newsfirst team engaged with the people from Thurai Nilavane, Makulur Mune, Oruville and many other villagers. We inquired from them as to whether they have received a value for their vote. Newsfirst, keeping our motto of your life, our news, close to our hearts, commenced the Think Again campaign from the Kandy, Putlam and Jaffna districts to provide a voice for generations of people who have been let down by their public representatives. We engaged in this campaign for a period of 15 days, covering all the districts. The end of this campaign will be marked tomorrow with 4 massive rallies around the country.
All preparations have been made to conduct 4 major rallies around the country in order to exert pressure on the politicians and stress the importance of fulfilling public aspirations. Our Newsfirst special representatives are now prepared to update us on the ground situation.
It's 15 days for today. We have travelled across the country. Why have we travelled across the country? We have travelled with the purpose of creating a public forum under the Think Again Public Service Initiative. We are on the threshold of completing the first phase of this project. During the course of our campaign, we came across a village that cannot be disregarded. This village is called Pallegama. There is no difference between the Kaluganga and Pallegama. For the simple reason for that villagers of Pallegama have grown with the Kaluganga being an intricate part of their day-to-day lives. However, this area that we are currently standing at, where we will converge tomorrow, may not be there in a few months' time. There is a strong possibility that this area may be an abandoned town or a town submerged in water. It is at a place like this that we will converge at 4 p.m. tomorrow in close proximity to the Pallegama-Kaluganga bridge. We at Newsfirst will be creating a common platform within this area for the people to voice their grievances and discuss their issues. I invite all the people of the area to join us at this location.
I am standing close to the Nochiagama Kusumpura reservoir. The Newsfirst team has made all arrangements to host the Newsfirst Think Again Public Service Initiative Forum at this location in the North Central Province. The main livelihood of the people of this area is farming and agricultural activities. While touring the area, we noted that these people appear to have overcome immense hardships and challenges in the recent past. This is mainly due to the fertilizer subsidy issue and the threat of wild elephants. At the same time, the inability to receive a fair price for their harvest is a main issue these people have faced. Public representatives have made several promises to these people. Have these promises been fulfilled? Over the past few days, we visited several houses and queried this from the people. The people of this area and of the North Central Province who will be converging at this location are prepared to discuss this matter further. We will provide you with the developments of this discussion.
Newsfirst වෙනුවෙන් මම ගයාන් සම්පත් නොච්චාගම සිට.
මෙතන හරිම සුන්දර ස්ථානයක්. හැබැයි මේ පරිසරයේ සුන්දර වුණාට මේහා බැඳිච්ච අවට ජන ජීවිතේ ඒ තරම් සුන්දර නැහැ. මොකද
I am standing at a very scenic location. Although I am standing in pleasant surroundings, the area around this location is not so pleasant. The lifestyle of the people of this area has become unpleasant due to a few shortcomings which the public representatives have failed to address. Through the Think Again Public Service Initiative, we thought of having our public forum at 4 p.m. at this location to give a voice to the people of the south. This invitation is to all the people of the southern province to make their way to the Borala Reservoir tomorrow.
ඉස්මත්තට අපි අපේ ශක්තිය පෙන්වමු. මම උදේ වන්‍යාරච්චි නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙනුවෙන් වැලිගම බොරාලේ සිට. අඬක් නැති ජනතාවගේ අඬක් වෙනුවෙන් අපි මේ උත්සවය හෙට දිනේ අපි පවත්වන්න නියමිතයි.
We are preparing to host this event to raise a voice. Issues such as the human-elephant conflict, drinking water and infrastructure as well as other issues faced by the people in the north and east will be subject to dialogue at this location at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
සාකච්ඡා කරන්න සූදානමින් සිටිනවා. මම නිවුස් ෆස්ට් වෙනුවෙන් රාජේන්ද්‍රන් කෝගුල්නාත් මඩකලපු ඕන්දාච්චි මඩම් සිට.
Await the Newsfirst Think Again rally. Join with the people's voice from the village to the city. Tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. at these locations. Kusumpura Riverbank, Nochiagama. Kaluganga Bridge, Pallegama, Laggala. Muttumari Amman Kovil, Ondachi Madam, Batiklo. Borala Riverbank, Veligama.
What we think or what we know or what we believe is in the end of little consequence. The only thing of consequence is what we do. John Ruskin.
A group engaged in a demonstration in the Aranayaka area in Kegel. The demonstration was staged blocking the Aranayaka-Mavanella main road.
The demonstration was staged by parents of students attached to the Rivisada Central College in Mawatagoda, Aranayaka. The demonstration was organized in dissent to the use of the playground of the school to temporarily house those displaced by the landslide that occurred on the Samasara mountains in Aranayaka. The Chief Minister and the government agent told us they will attend this parent-teacher discussion because tents were being set up, but not one of them showed up by 3 this evening, and that was the reason we took such an action today. We made inquiries from the Kegel District Secretary W.N. Abe Wickrama on the matter. He stated that all schools which were capable of housing temporary tents were allocated to house the displaced. The district secretariat also stated that the matters in this regard were made clear to the teachers of the school and also the parents. The group dispersed at around 4 this evening subsequent to the intervention of the police and after the confirmation that a solution will be provided to the issue. 45 days have lapsed since the tragedy in Aranayaka. 554 families that were displaced owing to the landslide in Aranayaka continue to be housed in temporary shelters. The Kegel District Secretary stated that even though lands have been allocated to resettle those displaced, more lands are required.
A tragic story was reported from the Mihintala area today. A 3-year-old passed away after choking on a rambutan seed.
Little Sadevanuhas from Kumar Sirigama in Mihintala received a rambutan fruit from his grandmother this afternoon. Unfortunately, after consuming the fruit, he had choked on its seed. Later, the parents rushed him to the Mihintala hospital. However, he was pronounced dead upon admission to hospital. His grandmother brought him a rambutan fruit. He had 2 rambutan fruits in his hand and I told to wait until I brought his clothes. But by the time I came, he had already eaten it. I think he couldn't bite it, so he swallowed it. We tried to get it out, but we couldn't. 3-year-old Sadevanuhas was the only child in the family. A 12-year-old boy was injured in an explosion that was reported in close proximity to the Navayalathanna bathing area of the Polgolla reservoir. The office of the police media spokesperson said that the explosion had taken place when a 12-year-old boy who had come to bathe with his mother had attempted to set fire to a bush of blady grass.
When I was on the Madawala road at around 9:45, there was an explosion. I ran towards it. A little boy was injured. We took him in a three-wheeler. I was working. I suddenly saw a black smoke rising and I heard the little boy scream. I rushed to the area. The little boy ran towards me. I was able to get both the child and the mother onto a three-wheeler.
The child who was injured was admitted to the Kandy General Hospital for treatment.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the News First team, I'm Dasnia Powder.
And I'm Shen Silva. Take care and good night.